standing in front of the Harvard Astronomical Observatory, which is this small Greek Revival gray building behind me. It played an outsized role in the history of the college at the turn of the 19th century. At the time, Harvard was undergoing something of a crisis. They had historically been a small, undergraduate-focused college that had been largely funded by tax revenues from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. As the new century dawned, the college increasingly wanted its independence, and the state increasingly saw little reason to fund an institution that was growing more and more private in nature and educated a very small number of the state's population. Coupled with financial mismanagement at the college, as well as an enrollment that had fallen well below that of its peers, led to a financial crisis for the school. President James Kirkland decided to reach out to this emerging commercial elite in Boston in the hopes that they would help fund the university and help him transform it into a modern, science-focused institution. And this observatory is the first project he took on. In 1822, 4 comets visible to the eye had been seen in the area, and it aroused a large amount of public enthusiasm for astronomy. Hoping to capitalize on this, Kirkland started a subscription campaign to fund a chair of astronomy and build this observatory. Now, also in 1822, one of Boston's leading merchants, Mr. James Perkins, had died and in his will left $20,000 to Harvard, an enormous sum at the time, which was used to start a chair in mathematics that exists to this day. Perkins and his brothers, like many of the merchants of that day, had engaged in the so-called triangle trade, shipping New England rum to the Gold Coast of Africa, where it was exchanged for slaves. These African slaves were then taken on ships to the West Indies and bartered with sugar plantation owners for molasses, which the Perkins boats then returned to New England to be distilled again into rum. The merchants booked a healthy profit on every leg of this trade, and their burgeoning fortunes went to fund railroads, textile mills, and increasingly educational and cultural institutions like Harvard. So it was not unexpected that President Kirkland would go to Perkins' family and ask for money for the observatory. He was not to be disappointed. Many of the prominent New England merchant families who provided the funding and the leadership for Harvard for hundreds of years to come originated in slave trading. And therefore, it's important to acknowledge this history in looking at the history of the university itself.